A lot of it would come down to asking more questions and really getting into some of those things that they've tried. I've been doing everything right. What we need to tease out is, what is your definition of right, and why do you assume that those things are right? Because if it was right for you, then you would be making progress and you would actually be enjoying the process. So oftentimes, and I get this probably more than any other question, I've been doing everything right. Nothing works for me. What do I do from here? And usually I start with, okay, tell me your definition of doing everything right. A lot of times there's all of these assumptions. I've been really meticulous with my, low carb meal plan. I've been doing my 60 minutes of cardio every day. I've been I've been taking my supplements. I've been doing all these things. And when we start to ask those questions, like, why do you think that low carb is right? Well, I follow this guy on Instagram, and he told me that, if I want to improve my blood sugar, I have to eat low. It's like, okay, so how does that feel? Is it sustainable? Are you enjoying it? What is your energy like? Do you feel like this adds to your life? Does it take away from your life? And once we start, again, peel back the layers, a lot of times the assumption of what's right is not based on anything other than, I believe this to be true because somebody that I follow on Instagram, or some article that I read on the internet, I heard it somewhere. My friend did this diet and lost 30 pounds. There's somewhere along the way that this became their version of what's right. And then it's a matter of why don't we just find what's right for you? Because a lot of the things that you're communicating don't really fit your lifestyle. You enjoy carbs, you feel better when you're eating carbs. And I'm just using that as one example, but it's a common one. I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to restrict my carb. I'm trying to eat 1,200 calories. Well, why do you think you need to eat 1,200 calories? Well, I opened up MyFitnessPal and that was the target that it gave me. Well, do you think that MyFitnessPal knows you as an individual, or do you think that it's a very generic calculation that it's giving, everybody? If I need to write a diet for 10,000 people, I should probably accommodate for the slowest metabolism in the room so that everybody loses weight. So there's, once you start to peel back the layers, you start to get to the root of, why do you think this is right? And let's redefine what's right for you and then make it happen. So I've yet to see a true non-responder. Sometimes it's arguing semantics. I had this conversation with somebody on a post that I made about metabolism, basically saying for somebody who's trying to eat 1,100 calories a day. And we shift the focus on let's support your metabolism without stop stressing it out, stop depriving it. Let's support your metabolism, eat more, and you can actually get leaner. And he pushed back and he's like, there's nowhere in the research that says that you can actually improve somebody's metabolic rate by eating more. And we started getting into the semantics of it. But if the individual is able to stay more consistent, let's just say they think they're eating 1,100 calories, but they're really, trying to eat 1,100 and actually eating a lot more because of binge episodes and snacking or whatever. But then we take this approach of we're going to focus on supporting your body and internal health and your metabolism. That's actually going to involve eating more. And we get their calories up to a reasonable amount where they are able to stay consistent. Now, the semantics of it is they weren't in a deficit. Now they are. So they're responding. But from the mindset of the person, of the individual, they're thinking I'm taking care of my body now, and that means fueling adequately enough for recovery, and things matter the way that it's perceived, rather than being well, you were lying to yourself before and now you're actually in a deficit. I think sometimes feeling that place of empowerment. I'm doing this for my internal health, for my metabolism, to fuel my activity, to fuel recovery. I'm trying to build muscle. I like that perspective, even if semantics, they didn't actually increase their metabolic rate or do any magic to their metabolism. I still think that frame is a really powerful one for people to hold on to.
Yeah, I think that's an incredibly powerful way to approach it. I had a conversation with my personal coach, Blake West, and he says something along the lines of, you can't improve using the same method that caused damage before, right? Something along those lines. And essentially, if you've been following a low carbohydrate, low calorie diet for a prolonged period of time, potentially you're dealing with some metabolic adaptation issues, but potentially you could have dysregulated thyroid. You could have supremely elevated cortisol. There could be all kinds of stuff going on here where continuing to hammer that same thing and trying to take the calories lower and lower and lower simply isn't serving you, because your body's not healthy. Your body's focused primarily on homeostasis, on keeping you alive, before it is worried about you losing body fat. And I think a lot of people sacrifice health by trying to take calories lower and lower and lower. And once you've played that card, you don't really have anywhere to go because every other physiological system inside your body goes down. Like your digestion suffers. You don't have the vitamins and minerals really needed to look, feel, and perform your best. And so many people get stuck. Just have to keep my calories lower. That's what it's going to be. And it just tends to get people really disenchanted with other options, particularly if they're a data-driven analytical person where they just look at it from a mathematic perspective of, no, like I should be in a deficit. How can eating more help me lose fat? And sometimes we have to take an indirect route to improve the underlying health of the system in order to play that card.
Did you find this helpful? If so, pound that like button and hit subscribe. Now, if you want a free copy of our Chiseled Muscle Cheat Sheet, the no BS way to help you lose body fat and build lean muscle in 90 days, make sure that you go to the description below and download your free copy. Any questions? Drop them in the comments, and can't wait to see you with the next video.